Hey, what's going on, fellow Smashers? Axel here. As many of you probably saw today, those of you that follow the bigger Smash players, Zero actually posted his tier list today on his YouTube channel. Now, he didn't post his whole tier list. He's doing it in parts, and today he started it and posted his top 15 characters just to get started. And it's a surprise that Zero actually went through and made a tier list, or is in the process of making one, because he actually did not vote in the recent Smash 4 Backroom official tier list. He did not vote because he, according to Smashboard, said that it was still too early for a tier list. So it's kind of weird to see him say that, but then release one a month later. But hey, maybe he felt that he needed some time with the new DLC characters before releasing it, or maybe he didn't want to start a tier list before all the characters were even out in the game for like a month or so. But anyways, as you can see here on the screen, this is the tier list that Zero posted, and I'll also put a link in the description to link to Zero's video where he explains his choices. And I want to go through and just give my opinion on each of these placements. And just before I say anything else, this is just my opinion. Yours, of course, will differ, and that's why these types of videos are fun to talk about, because everyone has different ideas. If we all agreed on everything, then there would be no fun in having this conversation. Also, I'm not a top player by any means. I'm a pretty good player. I'm probably a mid-level type player. I do play competitively. I am very serious about the game. I love following the game. In my local tournaments, I typically get anywhere from like 4th to 7th. We get somewhere around 30 to 40 players at our locals, so I'm a pretty good player. I'm by no means a top player. My region is by no means the best, but I'm decent, and what I lack in skill, I probably make up for in how much I love paying attention to the game, so in following the game. So I'm not just giving my opinions in terms of what I think. I'm giving them as my opinions as a Smash 4 viewer, and I love watching. I watch all the big tournaments. I really follow all the top players. So this is my opinion, just from mostly from results and some from just my personal views. So let's start with number 1, which is Sheik. And it's pretty obvious that Zero is going to put Sheik as number 1. It's pretty obvious that she's the best character in the game, and it has been obvious the whole time the game's been out, after the Diddy nerfs, of course. But I think her position on the tier list is actually being threatened, because Bayonetta and Cloud coming out have just really shaken things up. These two characters are incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. Bayonetta especially, her combos are scary, and I think Sheik may not be the number 1 character on the tier list a year from now. This is all pending buffs and nerfs, of course, but assuming no one gets touched, I really think that Cloud and Bayonetta both have the potential to pass her up. So Sheik is good for now. Of course, she has that godly neutral that makes her the top tier character she is. Her weakness is her killing power isn't the best if she doesn't get her 50-50 kill set upside of down throw. If she doesn't get that, she can have some issues killing, but that's really not a big downside, and everything else about her really is incredible. Her recovery is amazing. Of course, probably the best in the game. She's got the best projectile in the game. She's got a ridiculous fair that just controls and out-prioritizes so many moves. She invalidates a lot of the cast. Her frame data is the best in the game. She's just the queen of neutral. Her weight, and as I already mentioned, her kill power, if she does not, if percentage gets too high to where she can't get her 50-50 setups, is an issue, but that's really the only issue she has. Let's move on to number 2. So yeah, overall, I definitely agree with where Zero puts Sheik right now, and you really can't. And another thing about that is you got to put whatever character Zero mains basically at number 1. If he's winning all the nationals with a character, you can't really put anyone else there. Let's move on to Bayonetta. Bayonetta is extremely new. There's still so much we don't know about her, but we know enough to know, just to see her potential, and her potential is incredible. She probably has the most potential of any character in the cast right now. I'd say I don't think it's really even close. her combos she can kill anybody at any percent. If you get hit by Bayonetta in neutral, she can kill you off the top at any percent, at 0%. It really doesn't matter. A lot of characters, I think she invalidates a lot of characters that can't get out of her combos. You almost have to play like floaty characters against her. Fast followers just get destroyed. We still don't know a lot about her combos. We don't know what they're going to end up being once people optimize them. We also don't know how to optimize counterplay to her. So there's so much left to be explored for Bayonetta, but some people might say, wow, how is Zero putting her at number 2? She's too new. She doesn't have quite the results yet. And no, she doesn't have the results yet. She has seen really good results. I know if you follow some of the bigger tournaments, both Nairo and Dabuz have lost sets to Bayonetta players. And while it's not the strongest region, Bayonetta is dominating over in MDVA, which is, of course, runs the Xanadu tournaments weekly, which are some of the most watched Smash 4 tournaments. So there's a couple areas she's dominating, but I think as time goes on, the next 3 to 6 months are going to be really exciting for Bayonetta. I really think she's going to start to take over the meta even more than she already has, and I think, as I said before, she has potential to be the number 1 character. Let's move on to Sheik. Or not Sheik, the number 3 pick, which was Zero Suit Samus. This one, Bayonetta, I wouldn't, I can't really argue with that. I wouldn't be shocked. I think you can justify putting her a little lower, and I think the same about Zero Suit Samus. I think, especially after her nerf recently in the last patch, which did hurt her up-B kill power a little bit, you can definitely put her a bit lower. I think, while she's obviously an amazing character and she has one of the best punish games in the game, it may not be the best anymore because Cloud and Bayonetta both have ridiculous punish games as well. Her main flaw is her grab and how she's not really safe a lot of the time. We're even seeing more and more things develop with her. Like, if you've seen it, I can't recall the tournament. If someone's listening, can comment below. There was a tournament probably a few months ago where Nairo and Dabuz were playing, and Dabuz was able to almost invalidate Zero Suit's FB because if Nairo was not getting that last hit, he kept up airing her like right at the top of the screen and killing her off the top at absurdly high percents. I think we're seeing a lot of counterplay development to Zero Suit, and I think more and more people are getting better at dodging her grab, dodging her up airs to up B strings, learning how to DI out of it a lot. There was a video, I think, by the Beefy Smash dudes that came out on YouTube that really helps you to learn how to DI out of Zero Suit's up B. So I think with the addition of counterplay, we're seeing her slip, and in addition to the nerf, we're seeing her slip down. So I would not be surprised to see her slip down to top 5, maybe number 5, or maybe a little bit lower. But as for right now, she definitely deserves to be a top 5 player, top 5 character. Her punish game is just too good. I think in this tier list, this is the only change I would make. I think I would put Cloud above Zero Suit and maybe even above Rosalina, but I think I would put Zero Suit a spot or 2 lower. But hey, I can't argue with Zero. He's the best, and he would know. And of course, as long as one of the most skilled players in the world, Nairo, probably the number 2 skilled player in the world, is maining her, it's kind of going to be hard to not to put her up in the top 3. So next is Rosalina and Luma. It's a character I'm personally in the process of learning. Rosalina it's basically Luma, and that's it. Like, she has ridiculous range. Luma has ridiculous power. Like, Rosalina can like randomly kill you at like 40 or 50 sometimes. It's just weird. Like with down air, it's really weird. Rosalina's up air is insane. It's incredible. Her juggle game's off the charts. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Luma. Like if Rosie gets grabbed, like Luma can knock you out of it. Just so much stage control. Like, it's so hard to approach Rosalina. You really probably the hardest character in the game to approach. She has some flaws though that definitely keep her out of the top 3. Her recovery is exploitable. She's super light. Luma, of course, can be once Luma's gone, Rosalina plummets down the tier list when Luma isn't out, and Luma can often die really quickly. Like, Rosalina needs to stay near the middle of the stage because, say, like Cloud dash attacks her near the edge, like, it doesn't matter what percent Luma is. If Luma just doesn't die from racking up damage, if you hit Luma off the stage, she immediately dies. So there's a lot of flaws with Rosalina that kind of help hold down her massive strengths. So definitely good for now. And of course, the Buzz, one of the top, probably the top 3 players in the world, maybe top 2, mains her and has been getting amazing results. So you can't argue with Rosa. Cloud number 5. I think, as I mentioned earlier, I'd probably put Cloud up another spot or 2 because I think we're seeing just a surge of Cloud like in the meta right now. I think he might be in the process of taking over the meta. Cloud is a character that is incredibly. He's probably the easiest character in the game to play. So we're seeing a lot of results. There's really not too much to Cloud. He kind of, if you're a good player and you have good fundamentals, you're going to have a good Cloud. It's kind of the same thing as with Mario. If you have a good fundamentals, you're going to have a good Mario. He probably has the best neutral in the game with Limit. Everyone has to approach him. Even Sheik has to approach him because of Limit. You can't just stand there and let him charge Limit for free. You have to approach him. He has ridiculous range for his compared to his frame data. Like take a character like Shulk. Shulk has bad frame data but has about the same range as Cloud, but Cloud just has way better frame data. Like his neutral's so good. It's so hard for some characters to get near him or even challenge him or even compete with him in neutral just because the hitboxes on his aerials are just ridiculous. And then of course he has Limit and can just kill you off of just any mistake. Like you die, like if you air dodge at the wrong time, you're dying to 50% to finishing touch. Limit side B also kills really, really early. Not as early as Limit down B, but it kills really early. So Cloud is just a ridiculous punish game. Granted, he doesn't have like a lot of setups into his Limit down B or his Limit side B. He mostly has to do it off of reaction or reads. It's not like Wario Fart or anything where there's tons of different true combos and confirms into it. It's mostly hard reads. I think the only setup, the only combo he has into his down B, I think is fast fall up air. So Cloud I think his just raw power, his just dominant neutral really keeps him as a top 5 character, and even overshadows his only flaw, which is his recovery, which people continue to over exaggerate how bad it is. It's not that bad, guys. It's not that bad. Like the vertical distance is okay. He doesn't have much horizontal distance, which is a concern, but he's got a huge fat sword hitbox on his up B, which makes it actually pretty hard to edge guard him. He only has a little bit of vulnerability on his head behind his sword, and it's pretty hard to approach him. Actually, pretty hard to edge guard him actually. And then he of course has his up air, which is ridiculous. So I agree with ZeRo's placement here. Definitely a top 5 character. I think it's pretty obvious. We're seeing a lot of results as well. We saw Tweak finish really high in a big tournament last weekend. He beat a lot of different top players. We're seeing Mewtwo King almost beat ZeRo in a set. I think it was at PAX a few weeks ago. We're seeing a lot of great Cloud results, and of course Cloud is the best doubles partner by far, because if your opponent grabs you, if your teammate grabs an opponent and throws it to you, it's a free finishing touch, and they can die ridiculously early. So I think that's enough about Cloud. Let's move on. So I agree with him on this so far. I'd probably put Cloud up another spot or 2, but it's understandable where it's at. Next is Meta Knight, and I think this is a spot where I think the top 5 characters are all pretty obvious right now. The 5 that ZeRo listed, I think here is where it gets really debatable, because I think spots 6 through even like 13 are all really close. Like you can really argue about these characters and where they're ranked, and I don't think you can really go wrong ranking them in almost any order from 6 to 13, these characters. But Meta Knight, I completely, it's fine. I mean, you can't argue with Meta Knight. I mean, his up airs to up B setup is just ridiculous. You can kill ridiculously early, and it's hard to mess with him. And his recovery is amazing. Really can't mess with his up B. His only issue really is his range, and his neutral isn't the best. Like, he doesn't have a very good neutral, but other than that, like, his punish game is so strong it warrants him being this high. So Meta Knight, I think, is fine here. I might put him a little bit lower, but it's fine. This is totally fine. Like I said, these characters 6 through about 13 are all very, 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 very close, and I don't think any of them is very much better than the other. And you could definitely put them in pretty much any order you wanted, and no one could argue with you too much. Let's move on to number 7, Sonic. Sonic, obviously amazing character. He's so fast on the ground. fastest in the game. He can control the tempo of the match because he can camp. He completely controls this pace. He basically he invalidates any character that doesn't have the speed to deal with his spin dash. But I don't know. I mean, I would probably, if I was doing a tier list, probably put him a little bit lower, although it's kind of hard seeing the results from some of the Sonics in Japan because his frame data is not the best. He's gotten nerfed quite a few times, like his back throw and his damage on spin dash, but it's fine here. It's fine. I can't really argue with it. I personally would probably put him maybe a spot or two lower, but I don't know. Maybe I would leave him here. It's really hard to argue. Next is Ryu. Ryu has ridiculous power from his Shoryuken. He has some great setups into it. He has projectile, which is okay. He can just kill you randomly. Like he has so much, even like shield stun and stuff like forward air. His smashes are super strong. He's just a very strong character with just deadly punish games. We see this as a common theme here in the top tiers. Like a lot of these characters just have a ridiculous punish game, and Ryu is definitely one of them. Ryu's only problem really is his mobility. He's kind of floaty. Like his mobility is not the best, and I think he has some approaching issues. He can get walled out. But other than that, Ryu is a great character. He definitely deserves to be in the top tiers because of that punish game. Next, Diddy Kong. I think Diddy Kong, really, if this one character I would put higher, it's probably Diddy Kong. I think Diddy Kong has continuously been underrated and continues to be underrated because everyone's like, oh, he got nerfed a bunch. He must not be very good now. No, he's not. Like, look at what ZeRo's doing with Diddy Kong. He is destroying all of the top Sheiks. Sheik, who is the number one character in this game. ZeRo is just destroying all of them with Diddy Kong. And granted, it's ZeRo. Yes, ZeRo is very skilled. He's the best player in the game. And the best Smash 4 player by far, but he's just murdering these Sheiks. Like, it's not even close. You see him in tournaments. He just destroys Sheik like Mr. R and Void and these other top Sheiks. He just destroys them. So I think ZeRo potentially could be winning tournaments like he is now with just Diddy Kong. Like his Diddy Kong is that good. I think Diddy Kong has more potential than people think. Like Banana is incredible. Like when Diddy has a banana, like. I think he's second best neutral in the game to Cloud. Like, you have to respect the crap out of Banana. It's like, how do you approach a Diddy with Banana? Like, Banana, if you shield it, a Diddy's still going to grab you. If you get hit by it, of course, you get grabbed or you get up smashed or side smashed. Diddy also has some great, amazing frame data. His fair is ridiculous. His up air, of course, is not near what it used to be, but it's still there as a good damage racker. So, his recovery is kind of so I understand kind of where he is, but I still think people underrate them. I think based just on ZeRo's results, even though it is ZeRo, I think based on ZeRo's results, we have to put him even higher. So I would probably put Diddy Kong up at like the 6 or 7 spot, but he's fine here. Really, as I said before, you could put a lot of these characters in any order, and they're all really close. Next, Fox. Fox is fine. Fine where he's at. I'm great with this spot. Like, Fox is amazing rushdown character. He's super fast. His combos are amazing. He can just get in on anybody, but he has two big flaws that keep him out, from regressing farther than where he is. It's his fast fall speed. Like, he gets comboed just to hell by certain characters, and that's just such a huge weakness because it's combined with his well, I think I said 2 weaknesses, but he actually has 3 now I'm thinking about it. His other weaknesses is that he's light. He's so light, and his recovery is exploitable. Like, his recovery is, like, it's easy, it's predictable. He stalls with his fire. He'll stall, and you can go out there and off stage and just hit him or spike him. It's pretty bad. Like, his offense is amazing, but his defense is just, So even though he has all that firepower, I think he's where he's at because of his weaknesses. And honestly, I think I might even put him a little lower, like 2 or 3 spots lower on the tier list. Okay, if I had to disagree with any of the characters, any of the selections here, it would definitely be this next one, 11, which ZeRo put Corrin. we really don't have any results from Corrin yet. Like even characters like Bayonetta and Cloud, like we have some results. At least for Bayonetta, we have some pretty good results. Like we've seen top players lose to Bayonettas. But Corrin, I mean, I don't really know of any good Corrin results. I mean, comment below and let me know. But I don't know of any top players just getting bodied by Corrins. Corrin has good tools with her fair stuff, and of course her counter is ridiculous. If you can read someone smash and counter with rage, like you kill ridiculously early. But I don't know about Corrin. Like I don't know. This is the only questionable one, and I think I would probably put her back 3 or 4 more spots, maybe further, just because we don't have any results. I think Corrin definitely has the potential to be where she's at, but I don't think we've seen that yet. I don't think it's been shown yet. So a little questionable here for Zero. I think I might disagree with this placement. Next is Mario, and it's kind of weird to see Mario having slipped down this far to number 12, because I think a lot of players for a long time considered Mario like a top 5 character, but we've seen the resurgence, not the resurgence, but the immersion of a lot of characters like Cloud and Bayonetta and Rosalina, characters like this that have a lot of range. And Mario has an issue. He doesn't have any range, and he can get walled out, and that's a big problem, especially when we're seeing the emergence of all these characters. Even like Bayonetta has huge hitboxes. Like all these giant hitbox characters can really give Mario an issue. Mario, of course, when you get up close with Mario, he's one of the best, if not the best, in the game. Like his frame rate is ridiculous, his combo game is ridiculous, his smashes are probably the best set of smashes in the entire game. But because of his problems approaching at times, he's justifyingly where he's at. So I'm fine with where Mario is. Next, Pikachu. I'm so glad that a top player finally is not overrating Pikachu. Like I feel like Pikachu absolutely deserves me in this spot. The thing is, Pikachu has issues, and I think a lot of people have been overlooking them just because of how amazing Esam is as a player. First of all, talking about Esam, obviously he's one of the best players on the planet, but his results have not been the best. He's slipped some in his results, and he hasn't been all that consistent. And the second thing about Pikachu is, if Pikachu is so good, then why is no one playing him but Esam? Like there's like maybe one other top player that's kind of playing him as a secondary. I think is it Kitaro? Someone comment below and correct me there. I'm not sure if that's right, but there's some other top player. It might be Nakat. I can't remember. One of those players is playing Pikachu a little bit, but we're really not seeing anyone play Pikachu. And why is that? Like top players or players who want to win will main characters that are the best. And if no one's maining him, like is Pikachu really that good? I personally think it's just Esam being a god. Like as a player, like his skill level is just amazing. I think that's why Pikachu's doing so well. And I don't think Pikachu deserves to be any higher than he is right now, especially with Esam slipping in the results. So Pikachu's main issues are his range. Like he's kind of having the same issue with Mario. Like he gets walled out by a lot of characters. He's always at risk because Pikachu doesn't have a lot of range. He kind of has to go in all the time, and Pikachu gets punished a lot because he has to be in the faces of other characters. So Pikachu has some issues. Obviously amazing tools like quick attack, probably the best edge guard in the game. His recovery is ridiculous. Pikachu has great combos, a lot of good stuff, but I think there are some flaws there with his range, and that are holding him back as a character that make him not as good as some of these other characters. Okay, next is Villager. Villager really is only this high because of Renai. I think if Renai wasn't playing Villager, he might be, who knows, maybe out of the top 20. I don't know, but Villager has tools, like really good tools. Forward air, back air, slingshot's really good. His Lloyd Rocket's pretty good for zoning, for controlling space. Bowling Ball is a great wild card. It kills super early. It's great to drop off the edge and intercept some up B, particularly like Rosalina's up Bs like that are susceptible or slow, maybe Fox's. Villager has Paga, which is nice counterplay to some characters, but I think Villager, just his tool set as a whole just isn't quite as good. Like his punish game is there, like with bowling ball and stuff, but it's kind of harder to execute. Villager also has the problem of his up B is, while he can recover from anywhere, it's still slow and doesn't have a hitbox, so it's very punishable. You can go out there and spike Villager, even if he gets his up B back after you spike him, he's still going to be taking a lot of damage. His up B is exploitable. So Villager, great character, but I don't think he's tool wise is quite up there. Next is Ness. Ness is another character that's been slipping on the tier list lately, like especially on the official backroom tier list. He's slipped there as well. And it's because Ness has some matchup issues. Like he gets beat pretty badly by Rosalina. He doesn't quite have the speed to keep up with other top characters like Sheik. Like he's pretty floaty and kind of slow. What Ness does have going for him, of course, is that back throw, which is ridiculous. But I think his positions here is justified. So, guys, that's my thoughts just as a mid-level player. You know, take it or leave it. It's just my opinion. Of course, I'm not a top player, so I don't. You could certainly make the argument that I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not a top player. If you want to have that argument, then that's cool. But this is just my opinion. I wanted to respond to ZeRo's videos, and I think I'll probably do follow-up videos as ZeRo goes through the rest of his tier list and give my opinion on that as well. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts, and I'd be interested in hearing what everyone else has to say who did listen to me below in the comments. So that's all for today, guys. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.